Hi, everyone. This is Pastor Denise Davis from Change Ministries. You guys, this is just a quick lesson on the books of the Bible from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Okay? So, first we have Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Okay? Those are considered the 5 books of Moses. Then we have Joshua, Judges, Ruth, First Samuel, Second Samuel, First Kings, Second Kings, First Chronicles, Second Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther. Okay, those are considered the history books of the Old Testament. And then we have Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastics, Solomon. Those is the poetry books of the Old Testament. Then we have Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentation, Ezekiel, and Daniel. Those are the major prophets, you guys, of the Old Testament. And then we have Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. Okay, so there's 39 books, you guys, in the Old Testament, and those are considered the minor prophets of the Old Testament. Okay, you guys, testament means covenant, but you have to understand it was 400 years, you guys, between the Old Testament and the New Testament. Malachi was the last prophet, okay, of the Old Testament. Okay, could you imagine 400 years without having a prophet hearing what thus said the Lord, hearing about warnings, what is coming? Nothing, you guys. Okay? And then Matthew, okay? Mark, Luke, John. Okay? These are the gospels of the New Testament. Acts is the history, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, Philemon. These are all Paul's letters. Now you know Paul. Paul was Saul. Saul was the Pharisee who persecuted Jesus Christians. Okay? Saul got a letter from the high priest that when he go into Damascus, and if he find anyone teaching, whether male or female, if he find anyone teaching in them synagogues about Jesus, he was going to have them bound and sent back to Jerusalem. Okay? Paul had a letter from the high priest. Okay? So that's what he was on his road on the way to Damascus. That's what he was going into Damascus to do. Okay? But then he met Jesus. Okay? Before he got to Damascus, before he got into Damascus, got near to Damascus, while he was on the road, he met Jesus. And he heard a voice. Okay? And the Lord said, Saul, Saul, why persecuted thou me? Okay, and Saul said, and he said, who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecuted. Is it hard for thee to kick against the prince? Okay, understand, Saul was not a part of the first original 12 disciples. Okay, because after Judas Iscariot killed himself, after he betrayed Jesus, they got another disciple. Saul was not a part of that. Okay. Saul came after that. Saul, he's an Acts, okay? This is when Saul conversion, okay? Okay, get the whole picture, okay? So Saul is converted to Christianity, okay? Imagine the weight that Saul carried, that he persecuted Jesus' children, those who was teaching the truth about Jesus, and to finally to meet Jesus, and he had persecuted and killed Jesus' children, and then coming to the truth of that. And then on top of that, to hear Jesus' voice, that was a weight. That was a weight to carry. Okay? Paul never married. Paul dedicated his life to the teachings of Jesus Christ. I don't know if he felt like he had more to prove. Okay? But understand that was a weight to carry. Coming into the truth of the knowledge of who Jesus is, and you have been killing Jesus' children. Okay? That was a weight to carry. Okay? So then we go to Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Jude. These are general letters. And then we have Revelation, which is the prophecy. Okay? So that is it, you guys. Be blessed. Be safe.